right. My name is Jan Sheree Morris, and I am the program manager here at the Family Violence Prevention and Services Act program. It's a lot. It's a lot. All of the acronyms for or the titles for our federal government is long. So we're going to do Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and I wanted everybody to get a chance to introduce themselves. And I go by pronouns she, her, hers. And I'm going to give everybody else an opportunity. So what I'll do is I'll start off with Angela and then popcorn it to the next person.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jan Sheree. My name is Angela Lee, and I currently serve as the Love is Respect Director. My pronouns are she, her, and they. Really excited to be here. We lead the efforts for spreading awareness for teen dating violence every February. So, yeah, looking forward to this conversation. And I'm going to popcorn it to Julia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julia. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm a proud Love is Respect member, and I'm also looking forward to this conversation. And I'm going to pass it to Haewon.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, my name is Helen Lee, and I am also part of the Love is Respect Youth Council, and I'm so thankful for this opportunity to join this conversation. My pronouns are she and her. I'm popcorning it to Sam.
Awesome, guys. Hi, my name is Samantha Claudette Lopez. I'm actually the founder of A Walk with Warriors in my hometown. It's dedicated to any teen dating violence abuse and any sexual assault, any realms of abuse. I think this is an opportunity for us to really step up and spread awareness. So thank you all for your time. I'm also having a little bit of trouble seeing anybody else in here and the names, but if I can have somebody help me popcorn, please.
Actually, you are the last Sam, so we appreciate it. I can't, the camera, so my camera can cut on, but the other ones, I don't know, for some reason, I tried to set it up. Again, it's user error, my fault. I thought I was able to get the cameras to go on, but it's okay. It's a podcast and they're just going to listen to it anyway. So thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate all you for participating in this one very important podcast. And it's two, I wanted to make sure that I capture the voices of youth because, this is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month. And most times you hear adults like, oh, well, we know what's best for you. And sometimes teens know actually what's best for themselves. So I think this is a really good idea to have you all kind of like meet, talk about your perspectives about healthy relationships. And it would be good for, again, our federal adults to listen to what you all have to say about your life and relationships. So I have a few questions, and I think for the most part, how the structure will go, I just want everybody to understand, like, it's going to be fluid. We can go back and forth, have good conversations with each other, ask each other questions. It's definitely a safe space. I do know that we're going to try to avoid politics as much as possible, but I feel like it may come up. But I won't ask the question, but we'll just avoid it as much as possible. But for the most part, I'll get this started with the first question. And it's based off your own knowledge and experience. Can you all explain what a healthy relationship looks like? And anybody can jump in at any time.
To me, I think a healthy relationship would definitely be just really understanding each other and understanding each other's triggers and boundaries in a relationship, even though you are married, boyfriend and girlfriend, or even just friends. I think it's always necessary to set that boundary, a healthy boundary, and really respect each other since you are in a dedicated relationship.
Yeah, so boundaries was actually one of the questions. So that's very good. Thanks. Boundaries is a thing to set. And I want to say sometimes it's hard, even for adults, to set those boundaries or what boundaries may look like for each person. But yeah, that is definitely a good statement. I like your response.
Thank you.
Angela has her hand up.
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I want to kind of like piggyback off what Sam said. First, I want to share with the audience that Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month is like a campaign to amplify the needs of our youth, right? And our young people. Love is Respect targeted audience is age 13 to 26. And our theme this month is Be About It.
Mm,
So what
that's
does
right.
that
Yeah.
mean, right? Be about it. It means, how do we navigate healthy relationships? What are the warning signs? What does that look like for young people's on-campus experiences? So technology and culture, Gen Z grew up in the digital world, right?
Mhm.
When we really go deep into it, and my knowledge and experience, relationships look different depending on the community, depending on the cultural context that they're living in. And while dating abuse, it can take on many forms, and it can affect, like Sam said, anyone and everyone, no matter the age. You said that too, Jan Cherie. But it's also important to know that although it's defined in different ways, depending on who's involved, a healthy relationship also depends on key elements, right? Like there should be some healthy communication. There should be some trust, some honesty, boundaries. Y'all talked about that, consent. All of these elements equal equality. So I think it's really important, like, even though relationships look different, there's some key elements that should be similar.
Yes.
Definitely.
I think Julia's hand was up there. Go for it.
Well, I wanted to add on to what Angela and Sam said. And I guess to me, like a healthy relationship is one where each party like feels safe and secure, and also free to be themselves. Like I've definitely struggled with that in my relationships, to be able to be myself. But to be able to do that, I have to feel emotionally safe. Yeah. And then also I've noticed that like not all relationships stay healthy. And so that it's important to pay attention to warning signs. Like I've been in relationships where they've started off healthy, and then later on I've noticed more things about the person. So I wanted to kind of point that out too.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I think in the beginning you go through with
The honeymoon stage.
yeah, the honeymoon stage. It's like, is that rose-colored glasses? Everything is great, and you miss. It's like you collect the red flags, or you miss the red. You're just collecting, like you observe them, and then you're like, oh, was that really a red flag, or am I just overthinking it? So
Ignoring it.
yes, yeah. I think Haywen, you had your hand up. Haywen.
Yeah. I wanted to share about what I think really is important and significant in healthy relationships is respecting each other no matter what. And really, when we respect someone, we are very careful how we act around them, and we don't want to hurt them, right? But when we lose this respect, that's when we lose this carefulness, and we tend to behave whatever we want, we say whatever we want, which can be very hurtful to the other person. So respecting each other is really important, and knowing that that person is also human and also has their own feelings and emotions, even though they might think differently from you. I think that's really important, and sharing honestly and communicating is really important. Yeah.
I love that one.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, me
That
too.
That was nicely said, right? And that's coming from a 16-year-old.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hold on.
We need to step up.
I know, right? And I'm old, so I need to do. It's funny. I actually wrote that down. Like, wow, yes, respect. Honesty.
About respect. Because
Yeah.
all relationships exist on the spectrum, from healthy to abusive, and
Yep.
unhealthy is somewhere in the middle, kind of like what Hyman was saying. And we got to be able to recognize those warning signs. That's what we call it, red flags, or whatever the term that feels comfortable to you. But yeah, that's so important.
But I like how you said like all relationships are on a spectrum. That was actually a really good point. And how do you fall within that spectrum? Because because I think healthy relationships looks differently for others. And you think about, especially we're talking about abuse. If it's something that you grew up, it was just what you knew, and then you feel like maybe it was healthy at the time. So that's actually a good statement that you made, Angela, about the spectrum part. Because if it's something you saw, you think it's okay, well, maybe that is if I don't get abused once in a while, then that person doesn't love me. Physically abused, emotionally abused, mentally abused, one of those.
Right? And that's why it's so important to educate yourself. I don't know about you all, but I grew up in a household where, and I grew up in an abusive household. I witnessed
Okay.
abuse, domestic violence daily, but then I also witnessed in the same breath, I love you. So as a child, I'm growing up thinking that must be love, that misinformed information. That's why it's so important for us to educate ourselves. But Gen Z, they're very, very aware,
Mhm.
right? And they're comfortable with setting boundaries, but there are some people who aren't, just like you said, based on, whether you grew up in it or misinformed information, but it's never too late to understand what healthy means to you. Because my boundary may be crossed, but it may not affect Julia, or Sam, but it's something that affects me. So healthy communication and helping our partner, we use gender neutral terms at Love is Respect. Partner is respectful of your boundary.
Okay, cool. All right, Julia, see you again one more time.
I definitely relate to Angela. Like I've talked to Angela about this. But I've also grown up in a house where there was like quite a bit of like emotional abuse, and it really bled into like when I was building relationships because I thought it was normal. Even now, like I would go through like a fight with someone and I'm like, oh, that's totally fine. And then I talk to other people and they're like, no, like that's not okay.
No, girl.
Yeah.
That is true.
But yeah, it's hard when you lack examples growing up of like a healthy relationship to kind of realize like what is a healthy relationship. But I think what Angela pointed out about education is like huge, Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it, Sam. I see your hand.
Yeah. So for me, I kind of had the opposite happen to me. So I grew up in a very loving home. Both of my parents were together and always very respectful to each other. And came across to high school and I actually fell into an abusive relationship where it was sexually abusive, mentally abusive, physically abusive, and emotionally abusive. And I kind of had to just relearn how to be treated in a sense. I had to learn what was right and what was wrong because I went through a phase where I was literally bleeding from the nose and I looked at myself in the mirror and said, this is an abuse. And it blows my mind now to look back at it because yes, it was. Whether it's bruises or, words, it's abuse. And I think going back to, relearning and educating yourselves on this topic, I think, like I said, like spreading awareness on this topic will definitely help younger people understand that this relationship shouldn't be like this. We need to practice healthy boundaries and just respect overall. I think when you're put in that situation, you really get confused to what's right and what's wrong. So always try and educate yourself on this topic.
So like we talk about education because that is definitely key. If you don't know, you don't know, but what you do know. But then how do we, so as us adults, like how do we educate? And I think it's good that it's like peer-to-peer education. So I listen to Sam, like you seem like, all right, I didn't have this growing up. And then I got into an abusive relationship and you're probably sitting there thinking like, how did this happen? This is not something that I've seen before.
Exactly.
How do you educate? And I mean, that's probably another question for Angela too. Like, how can we drive that home to our youth? Like, this is not cool. Just so we're clear. Like Julia said, like sometimes you tell a story to someone like that. No, that wasn't good. no, that wasn't a good thing for you to go through that. And
Mhm,
Yeah.
definitely.
So this, I think, how do you educate? Now that is so powerful. It's a small question, words in this question, but it's very powerful. First, we have to educate ourselves, right?
Mhm.
Love is Respect is there not only for our targeted audience, but we're also there for older adults. We call them helpers, whether that's a parent, educators, anyone that actually supports young people, because it can be challenging. And we know that older adults want to help, they
Mhm.
want to help, but they're not sure how. Like,
Mhm.
I remember when I was on the front lines, I started as an advocate, and I'll never forget. And I've been with the hotline for 12 years, but this particular call just sits with me. But this lady was very, very desperate on how to help her loved one. Her sister had, and trigger warning, was deceased. And so there was a lot of different, because there's intersections, right? There's a lot of intersectionality that happens. But anyway, so the child was, they were around 14 or 15, I think, she said, and they were having problems. They were resistant. They were angry, stages of grief. And, but they were so attached to a relationship, which happened to be same-sex relationship, right?
Mhm.
And she was honest. She shared that, hey, I have strong religious beliefs, but I also have a strong belief that I need to be here for my child. So I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm trying to understand, what do they mean by pronouns? What do they mean by pansexual? All these terms that they wasn't um, aware or familiar with. And I shared with them, you're doing it. You're reaching out to people who
Mhm.
can help you, right?
Right.
Who can help you, or send you to some resources that could educate you. So different things like that. And one of the things we like to say is, we don't tell anyone what to do. Young people are not looking for us to tell them what to do, or
Mhm.
even older adults. We provide education. And if we don't have the education or the resources, we reach out to resources that can help them. That's one of the main things to really look at, because each story, each individual is different. I just
Right.
gave one example, but
Right.
but it's important. I can't educate anyone until I became educated on this topic. I like to feel like I'm a expert, but that took time,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So hopefully that answers your question, just to give a little brief example.
Yeah, it does. And like for me in my office, we're at like the larger umbrella when it comes to like the feds and just giving out federal funding. We're not really grassroots. We're not on the ground. We're not actually going out talking to the survivors and the team. It's not something that we're doing. So like we're trying to change, and this is why we do on the podcast. We're trying to change the narrative so that we
Yeah.
can listen to the voices of those who are impacted by violence every day and what their needs are. Because you know what your needs are. You know you the best. I always say that. You know you the best, so you know your needs, and that it's not a one size fits all. So
And I'm curious, from Sam and Hyman and Julia, like,
mhm.
who do y'all go to like, and I'm sorry, Sharia, if this is inappropriate to ask this question, but
No, go for it. No, it's good.
yeah, I was just curious, like, who's your first go-to talk to about topics or subjects, specifically maybe dating abuse or unhealthy relationships, versus your parents, or do you feel comfortable going directly to your
Um,
That's a really hard question.
okay.
parents?
Do you want to go first or me?
Oh, you can go first, Sam. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I think it was like during that time it was a very like hush hush thing to myself. Nobody knew, and I really didn't feel comfortable speaking to, my school counselors or even a therapist at the time. So luckily, I really had that support from my parents, and with that, my parents helped me to attempt to teach people and educate people on this topic. Like the school gave me an opportunity, or the school that I graduated from gave me an opportunity to speak to these younger kids about teen dating violence and have them sit down and, actually show them a couple presentations about it. And I think that that is definitely the first step. A lot of these things kids learn from school. And, some people may think that certain things are normal. And I think just really teaching them from the start, the way we have a math class or the way that we have a reading class, I think it may be nice to have a class on basic morals,
Yeah.
what's right from wrong, and really just something that I think we all need to know, whether you're a female hurting a male or a male hurting a female or same sex. I think that we all need to learn that common ground and that common boundary with each other.
Hmm.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What- I kind of hear pain shared is pain lessened.
Hmm.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say that for me, like personally, what's really helped me has been being in therapy. But I feel really lucky and like privileged to have been able to connect with a very good therapist. But when I started therapy, I was really against it.
Mhm.
Like I really, I was really like defiant. I thought I knew everything. I was in high school. But seriously, like that has given me so much information, and just to have a safe space and an unbiased person to talk to is honestly so helpful. And unfortunately, I just think our mental health system it needs to, it needs to change
Mhm.
and be more accessible to all people. So that's what I has worked for me personally, but I know it's not, even accessible for quite a bit of people.
Agreed. I will say that as somebody who went to school and being a therapist myself, it's sometimes taboo for going to see a therapist. And I think a lot of the stigma is, oh my God, you're crazy. What's wrong with you? Nothing's really wrong with you. You just need to sometimes bounce ideas off of people. Like, what can my and you can be very open and honest to your therapist. They're going to be objective if you have a good one. Let me just say this: there are some that are kind of like sketch. I will admit to that. But you should be able to be open and honest with your therapist and just bounce ideas and things off of them so that you can get some help. So
Yeah.
hey, I think Hamid, you had something.
Hyman, you want to say
I'm
something?
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think really just reaching out to my friends or my parents and trying to see this from like a different perspective. So trying to see it from like a third person perspective and seeing their outlook on it really helps. Yep.
Well, let's go. I mean, I like the fact that you said you're able to talk to your parents because not all kids, can talk to their parents.
Mhm.
I mean, even me now as an adult, sometimes I'll say things to my dad. His final statement, it was like, well, that's how life is. I'm like, it's not how life is. Like, really, Dad? That's all you got? That's all, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So your parents must be cool. I like them. All right. Well, that's good. It was something else that you all said that I was trying to bounce off of, and I can't remember, but I could go into the next question, and this you all might help me. And this is the boundaries. How do we set these boundaries in a relationship? What does that look like? Because I'm going to take notes. I need to write this down so I can remember to use it.
These are some good questions.
Thank you.
If everyone's okay, I'll start it off. How does that feel?
That sounds good.
Good.
So I always say boundaries are yours to build,
Hmm.
but boundaries are also needed in every type of relationship, especially
Mhm.
intimate relationship.
Definitely.
Because I think they help you determine the level of vulnerability you're comfortable sharing, not just for yourself, but for both of you and your partner. But also, it's good to look at the different types of boundaries. There's personal boundaries, there's physical boundaries, there's digital boundaries, there's financial boundaries. A lot of these spaces we don't really talk about, but we as individuals you as an individual determine what we choose to share with our partners. And our partners choose what they want to share with us.
Mhm.
So it goes back to what Sam and some of the youth council members just said. It's about trust, it's about respect, but these are significant, I can't say that enough, significant components to maintaining boundaries in a relationship. We have to have that, right? But it's up to you to decide what makes you comfortable. And pressure from a partner to redefine your limits, that's just not okay.
Mhm.
You have the choice to decide what feels right for you at any point in the relationship. So that means you can change your mind, right? Right?
Right.
Don't get me started. I can
Wait,
go,
wait. So you said you can change my mind? Okay, let me write that.
yeah, right. Make sure you put that in capital letters because
Right, right. I wrote that down. So today I decided something and tomorrow something different. Okay, I like it. I'm here for it.
it's about the communication, right?
Yeah.
It's about communicating that. If someone truly cares about you and is truly invested in a healthy relationship, I'm gonna respect that. I'm not saying that no relationships are not gonna have disagreements. That's not true. If
Yeah.
anyone tells you that, just tell them simply, that's not true. How you deal with it, how we deal with it, how we set a boundary. Maybe I don't really feel I'm in a good emotional space to be having this conversation right now.
Mm-hmm.
Circle back. Can we circle back on this tomorrow and let, time, what do you call it? I say cut off the steam because I'll be steaming. So that's not, I know it, there's not going to be too much that's going to be healthy out of that. We want to be considerate, right?
Right.
Right.
I don't want to take up too much space, but that's what I have to say on that.
I like that. I definitely agree with you. I think that, you set these boundaries early on in a relationship so you continue to have a healthy relationship with this person and grow healthy with this person. And I think that, as soon as they kind of disregard your boundary or, that respect for you, I think it's definitely a red flag that you need to take note of and really, really pay attention to.
Yeah, and I was reading somewhere where they talk about it's one thing that you set your own boundaries. So the boundaries are set by you, you are setting them, but you also have to be able to stand on those boundaries. So if that person has crossed it, you have to stand up and say, look, you crossed this boundary. It's not, I'm telling you, it's your warning, first and only one, first and final, I guess, warning, don't cross the boundary. So that it's one thing to set them, but it's also one thing to stand on those. So that way you are holding them accountable, like I guess like the accountability. And like Angela said, it's not just relationships or intimate partner relationship, friends. I mean, you have friends who cross that as well. And you have family members. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like, I think it's important to be really clear that hey, I'm setting a boundary and that there are consequences, like if you cross the boundary. And how I look at it is if you don't stand on your boundary, you're not only not holding them accountable, but they can do it again. They have license to do it again because they hurt you already. But I think what's helped me set boundaries is to really say what happened, say how it made me feel, use I statements. And like knowing that boundaries don't have to be huge things. It could be something simple like, hey, I'd appreciate if you could take out the trash.
I like it. Like that's small. You can be able to do that, handle.
Yeah.
And trash out. That's right, Julia.
I love that.
But Julia touched on something else. It's kind of like y'all ever heard that saying, stand for something or fall for anything?
Yes.
Right? And we all have to understand our teens and young adults, they're dealing with peer pressure. You know what I'm saying? They're finding themselves. They want to be liked. Don't even get me started on pop culture and social media. But there's different things that we have to take in consideration when supporting our young people. Go ahead, Harlan.
I will say this. I am definitely old enough not to have any of the dirt that I have done on social media. And I'm excited. I'm sorry, y'all. You won't find a trace of me and my teenage shenanigans on social media. So I can only imagine like the pressure because everybody will just pull out a camera and just start recording. And you're like, okay, wait, I'm just having a quick argument while I'm on a date. Why are there like 5 cameras out?
Mhm.
Okay, wait. Yeah, so I get it. There's a lot of pressure for teens. Just oh, I can't imagine. I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm apologizing, but I completely get it. I empathize. I just it's not something I had to go through, but there's a lot of pressure. So my heart goes out to you.
Mylan, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. I think it's important to know why we need boundaries in the first place, because boundaries are there to protect you and your partner. And so before we set these boundaries, it's important to know what you're comfortable with. And like Angela mentioned, you have to know what your boundary, what you want and your needs are. And so you can really confront them and communicate with them, hey, this is my boundaries. And so your partner and you can respect each other's boundaries.
Wow.
I love that because when you start off in a relationship and you have the initial conversation, like say, hey, what are your boundaries? I think I was watching something that said, stop asking, like, what is your sign? Like, you're not getting anywhere when you ask them, what your sign is. You say, you gotta ask, like, what and what are your boundaries and what are some of your triggers? What are some of your non-negotiables? What do you feel like is a red flag? So yeah, I love that. Yeah. Why are we setting them and what is the purpose? Yeah. Completely agree.
Yeah, we teach people how to treat us.
Yeah.
Part of setting boundaries is teaching them, look, this is a deal breaker. This doesn't make me feel comfortable. And young people should feel empowered to be able to say that. And again, I have to say on the other side of the spectrum, the partner too. It's a free flowing, it's equality, it's a balance, right?
It is definitely that balance. Like completely, yeah, I agree. And it's hard because I know for me, so like self-disclosure, I know at one point I was wondering, like, am I enough? So sometimes we do, for me personally, sometimes I will try to do or overthink or do something more to make sure that I am enough. And then I would allow the boundaries that I have, one, not to be set, and two, to be crossed. But then I almost find myself saying, like, I can't get upset because I had them, but I didn't establish them with my partner and say, hey, this is a boundary that I don't want you to cross. Because again, I'm trying to, in the beginning, you know, you want to be like, oh, I don't want to appear too aggressive and I don't want to make it seem like I'm going to be a difficult person, but it is not being difficult. It really is protecting yourself. Yeah. So,
We gotta love ourselves first before we can truly love someone else.
yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
Great conversation.
I
And
know. That's good.
just to add to that, setting boundaries, and then when you see boundaries being crossed, remember how I said in a relationship exists on the spectrum. From healthy to unhealthy. What we know about abuse, it can escalate. So if we're here to end dating abuse before it happens, recognizing someone is not respecting your boundaries, that's that in the middle, that's that unhealthy. So we need to address that as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
And so that actually kind of segues us to that the next question about like what are the characteristics of dating abuse and dating violence? Like what are some of those characteristics?
I think that there's a whole bunch, and I think that it doesn't always have to be violent. I think that, just simple like name calling, I think that's a big issue that people tend to ignore. And even just like little jokes, picking on people about, the way they act, the way they are, like, this is my person, this is who I truly am. And I think that if it's your significant other or a friend or even just a peer, that's not right. And I think it is a form of abuse. And especially if you express that it hurts you. And if it was reciprocated, they wouldn't feel the same. They wouldn't like it. They wouldn't like it done to them.
Yes, you know what? The name calling. I wrote that down too. Like, I never even, and I'm in this field. Like, it didn't, the name calling is a thing, but it is a form of abuse. It is absolutely
Mhm.
a form of abuse. Wow.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And verbal abuse.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just thinking just at the teen level, I think at the teen, I'm thinking about how I was a teen and, you call each other names, but
Right.
it just would be like, oh, boy, shut up. That would be kind of the response.
Mhm.
Where in fact, like, okay, wait, hold on, pause. I know as an adult, you can't call me a name, but even but as a teen, it was really just like, oh, boy, shut up. You always talking nonsense. But as an adult, I'm almost 100% certain, sir, I think you might want to check your tone and calling me a name. So yeah, I was actually really good, Sam. And I'm sorry, Julie, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I just wanted to echo something that Sam said that, I told my friend, like, you don't have to be in an abusive relationship to leave a relationship.
Mhm.
Like, it
Mhm.
doesn't have to get to the point or like where you're, abused or, I just think there's like a fine line, that it can escalate if you're not, but even if you are careful, like, you can miss things.
Mhm.
It's just really difficult, I think. Yeah.
I like that. You can leave, I guess, even if it's not abusive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. If any point you're unhappy or your needs aren't being met, I think that's definitely a justifiable reason to leave,
Right.
Definitely. And you don't owe anyone an explanation.
Look
I'm
at
a firm believer in that.
I love it. Where were y'all when I was a teenager? Oh man, I love it.
So I went before, you want to say something before?
Yeah, sure. I think one key identifier in how we can define abusive or abusive relationships is when it's like when one partner tries to be in control and where they would use like certain um things to manipulate you and try to
Mhm.
you and control your life. And this, like Julia mentioned earlier, I really want to highlight is that at first it might not seem like it's abusive, but then as it progresses, then it starts to become worse and more damaging, and then it becomes abusive. And so it's yeah, I think it's a pattern and it can be like a cycle, like Angela mentioned.
Mhm. Wow. Yeah. So you just opened the door for what I was about to say. You and Julia, but
Come on in.
I'm gonna fall on in, right? Let me tell you something. Dating abuse is a pattern of coercive, intimidating, manipulative behaviors. And just like Julia and Hyman has said, and even Sam, it's used to exert power and control over a partner, right? Now, while at Love is Respect, we define like dating violence as a pattern, that doesn't mean the first instance, and I think somebody mentioned that too, of abuse isn't also dating violence. We just simply recognize that dating violence tends to involve like a series of abusive behaviors over a course of time, which is why we educate on the unhealthy behaviors, recognizing the red flags. But y'all hit it on the head, like some of like wanting to know your location all the time, right? Isolating you from friends and family. If you love me, you'll be with me. I just love you. I want to spend time with you. Controlling behavior. Somebody already said that. And how about this? Pressuring you or trying to force you to have sex. And using that manipulation. It's my birthday. So you should. But you're steady saying no. No is a complete sentence. What is your birthday? What is your birthday or just a regular day? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or even paying attention to like mood swings. That can be like always have a bad temper, always accusing you of cheating. And this is not limited to all of them, but physical abuse is always talked about. But some of the lesser abuse types is just as important. The emotional and verbal, Jan Cherie, you just shared. Digital abuse is real. Financial abuse, sexual abuse, right? These are all abuse types that can affect the person's life. When I was 16 going through this, from 16 to 19, I was in an emotional and verbal abusive relationship. And just to be a little vulnerable, it had me very indecisive. Jan Cherie, it had me like low self-esteem.
Mhm.
Like when I started working at the hotline and heard the term gaslighting,
Mm.
do not know how validated I felt because I thought I was crazy.
Oh, I just
Manipulative my partner was.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
and, you know, I have conversations like this about healthy relationships and abuse with some of my friends, guys, and who are 40 plus years old. They would always say all the time that, oh, okay, well, you know, I would never hit a woman. But what are you saying? Because, you know, abuse is not always physical.
Mhm.
And well, if I gotta put my hands on a woman, I don't need her. Yeah, but how are you treating her verbally? Like, what are you doing emotionally? Are you, one, gaslighting? Two, are you being manipulative? And even like I said, at that age, adult age, sometimes they don't. And these are just, I'm just speaking for my friends specifically. They didn't even realize, like, oh wait, I have said that before. Oh well, you might want to check yourself, sir. So
Yeah, and how that translates with our young people. Like,
mhm.
one, like, even in the LGBTQ plus community, one partner may be threatening to out the
Mm,
other, and they're
yeah.
not ready. They're not ready. Are using a person's cultural beliefs,
Yeah.
to control them.
right.
It's very sad, the amount of manipulation that can be used to control a person. And especially the heightened during the pandemic, like they're isolated now with this person.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So we have to take all that into consideration when we're listening. And the main thing is just listen. Ask our young people, how do you want me to support you? Let the young person know you deserve to be in a respectful relationship. Hey, I'm not an expert. I may not know X, Y, and Z. Get them over to loveisrespect.org where they can chat or text. Young people love to chat and text. We can call them too, but young people love to chat and text. But making sure that they have enough information, education, and resources. Letting them know that February, we're going to be having a webinar on 2/23
Oh,
at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had to throw that in.
yes. The plug, put it in.
And it's going to be young people. It's going to be youth council members, not older people telling, about 3 years ago, Love is Respect decided to look at some things like, yes, we're doing wonderful work, but what's missing? You always want to elevate. So we had to really think about adding the youth voices. That's how the youth council started. We can't just say we know what our young people want and need. Let's ask them. Let's let them inform our work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is true. They know what they want. I just know for me being a teen and what I would have wanted. And I guess sometimes you go to your friends, even me as an adult, go to our friends and I think like, you really didn't think that advice through. Does that make sense to you? But okay. You take what you can and leave what you don't. But I think it's good to have like the youth actually provide what the youth feel like they need. I'm going to keep saying, you best. So it's good for them to have a seat at the table.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
With an amazing group of members. I learned so much from the youth council.
Oh,
No.
Oh,
that's good. Oh, that's so great. I love it. And this was such a good conversation. I mean, we're definitely going to do it again. I would love to have it and probably just like a different topic for teen dating violence, or just in general, just have a series of conversations. I know we're going to do one for Sexual Assault Awareness Month in April, so I will keep you all posted. But I really appreciate it. I hate to end it. I want to know if you guys want to continue to keep talking. I don't have a problem, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. This is really good.
I know. I love this. Thank you all so much for letting us, put our 2 cents in.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for like hearing our voices, you know what I mean? And it
Mm.
feels so good to be valid, you know what I'm saying? Validify,
Validating.
validating. There we go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's back, Julia.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm not going to rush, but if you guys have any more statements or if you want to leave any last minute comment, let me know. But I do have one question I'll ask everyone at the end. But if you guys have any more last minute questions about like boundaries, healthy relationships, then go for it.
Just want to give our information for Love is Respect.
Yes.
If you or someone you know is experiencing dating abuse, or maybe just have questions about, is my relationship healthy or not? You can
Mm.
call us at 1-866-331-9474. Or you can text us, young people, at just text love is to 22522. Or you can just go to our website, loveisrespect.org, and you can just click on the chat live now. Our advocates are there 24/7, totally confidential, and here to support.
Mhm.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes.
So,
And
okay.
then,
Go ahead, Sam. Sorry.
oh, sorry. No, just adding on to that, just a reminder for both men and women, always choose yourself. You know yourself best. You know what hurts you. And at the end of the day, please do not be in denial about this. This is a serious issue, and we lose a lot of good people to this. So definitely choose yourself and, look forward to your future.
Nice. Absolutely agree.
That's nice.
Any more last minute thoughts, Julia or anyone? But no pressure. All right. So, okay, I got one last question. It's definitely going to lighten the mood. If you were stuck on a deserted island and you had one thing to take,
Oh my
what would it
God.
be? And then wait, then you have one album you can listen to. So I'm not saying you're gonna be stuck forever. So you're just
Oh my
stuck on a
gosh.
deserted island, maybe for a month or two. What is the one thing you would take, and what's the one album on your playlist that you would listen to?
That's a good question.
All right, who wants to go first?
Wait, can this thing be food?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Okay.
I need basic needs met. Food, is that it? Yes, it could be food.
Thank you.
I think for me, I would probably take my little boy, my 2-year-old son, and we would listen to Saunderson from Brent Fias all day long.
Okay, nice.
Wow, that's nice.
All right, who wants to go next?
That's a tough question, but I'll go ahead and go because look like everybody else still thinking. I would take my phone because I have to listen to my playlist. And I had a few, probably listen to, oh my goodness.
Oh, it's hard, huh?
Yeah, probably Lauryn Hill.
Oh, I love Lauren.
She only has one album. I'm sorry, that's like which album? She only has one.
The miseducation of
Yeah, the miseducation of Lauren Hill.
that was on
X Factor.
X Factor.
All right. Julie, did you want to go next?
I guess I'll go. So I initially wanted to pick sushi, but then I decided to pick my dog. I think that's a better option. And then for an album, I love Post Malone. He's like my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. He was in concert here not too long ago. You know what? I never heard of him. So I do work part-time at a concert venue. And I just remember my friend being like, "Oh my God, I need to go to Post Malone." I was like, "Who's that?"
That sounds awesome to work there.
Oh yeah, it is. It's good. I mean, I don't know 98% of the artists that are going to be there until they get there, and even that. But yes, Post Malone. He was actually pretty good. So
Yes. Oh my God, he's such a good performer, and he loves his fans, and oh, it's so nice.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Howard, I think you're the last, and then I'll go after.
Oh, the question was, we can take one person or was it an object?
Well, one thing, if that happens to be a person, that's fine.
Oh,
And then your one album that you listen to.
I would take my sister with me, and
Really?
I think for an album, the Control album by SZA, I think I would listen to that.
No, I thought you could say "Control" by Janet Jackson. Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
did too. I did too.
Oh, my age. Oh my.
Both good albums.
Nice. Now I'm not taking my sister nowhere, not even up the street. So she's for me, I would take mac and cheese because I just like I'm a mac and cheese fanatic. Oh my gosh, whatever if it's on the menu, I'm ordering it. And then the one album I would take is Bob Marley, the Legend album. I love that album. I think it just, I don't know, you're on an island, you listen to some reggae.
Yeah.
That's me.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate this. This was great. So I'm gonna be in touch. I also will send the recording. So
Thank you so much.
yes. Thank you all.
Yes, thank you.
Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.